Well, the police found a scrap of paper with a Texas phone number on it. And they say that's what tied you to the crime.
I've heard people say that tied me to the crime. The reality is that I was the last person arrested on the case. So the reality is that the child who's 15 years old, who should not have been present, was instructed that this nigga cannot be with us tonight. And to my knowledge, he was not supposed to be in that car. So this child who saw something he shouldn't have saw started telling him, because that's how children get themselves out of trouble, man. I walk in the house, why the fuck this trash in here? They telling. The children gonna tell me why this trash ain't in here, who didn't take it out, why they didn't take it out, why them dishes still there. They gonna tell. They gonna wanna lose their cell phone. They gonna wanna lose. It's the same concept. A child got in trouble and he responded like a child. I'm not mad at him. I did 26 years and I'm not mad at that child. As I sit here as a 50-year-old man understanding what the fuck I experienced, I'm not capable of being upset with this baby. But as a father of two sons under 2, I got 2 under 2 right now. I got a 19-month-old and one that ain't even 2 months old, right? I'll be 70 with a 20-year-old son, two 20-year-old sons. So I am very much aware that this child was devastated and saw some traumatic shit and did some goofy shit and also egotistically wanted to be involved because that's what children do. And as a result of his behavior, people started getting arrested. And as people started getting arrested, some people also responded like children because that's what children do. And so that leads to my name coming up. At first, this little nigga don't know who I am. So he's like trying to tell the police ice cream. This nigga keeps saying ice cream because my homeboys call me black ass chocolate as a joke. So he's used to, nigga, where black ass chocolate at? He don't know how to say that. So he's telling them it was ice cream. It was ice cream was the ringleader. Ice cream did this. Ice cream gave him the guns. It was ice cream. So eventually my name get brought up by a homeboy who was not ratting on me. He used me as an alibi. He says I was with X-Rated. The police now looking for X-Rated now. And so that's how they started really looking for me. So they did find it, evidently in discovery, found out about a slip of paper and all that, but that didn't result in me going to jail. What resulted in me going to jail was that little nigga talking too much, responding as a baby, and the homeboy using me as an alibi. My name came up and now they want to know who the fuck this X-Rated is. And the detective decides that X-Rated is ice cream. This nigga he keep calling ice cream is X-Rated. And I was in Maricopa County and I was in Arizona, and they snatched me up in Arizona. They found out I was in Arizona. Yeah.
Okay, so Christopher McKinney and Roosevelt Jermaine Coleman were arrested as accomplices. You and Samuel Maurice Proctor were arrested as the triggermen. And they were saying that you were the ringleader.
We were all arrested under California's felony murder rule. We were all arrested for first-degree premeditated murder, all of us. And so they threw the kitchen sink at us. You get an open count of felony murder. And then they give the jury instructions on what they could find you guilty of as a scattergun because they want you to get found guilty of something. So they got manslaughter explanations in there. They got the explanation of conspiracy. They got the explanation of aiding and abetting and conspiracy. They have the explanation of premeditated first-degree murder. They have second-degree murder explanation in there, and they give instructions to the jury, and the jury go decide what you're guilty of. Yeah, jury. Right. So the jury instructions is out. So the jury decided that they were guilty of those things and decided I was guilty of whatever, and the 15-year-old young man took a deal to be prosecuted as a juvenile and in exchange for his testimony against us, but he could only testify up until what happened at the front door. He couldn't say what happened in the environment. He could only say what happened at the front door. And so, yeah, nobody else was really willing to tell him what happened after that. And so that's as far as his information was able to go. Chris and Roosevelt, both of whom I love dearly, all of them got arrested before me. I got arrested last. We ended up having separate trials. We had a severance hearing. So the first fight was keeping me in juvenile court or sending me to adult court. I lose that. I go to adult court. The second fight is death penalty as capital punishment or a life case. I beat that. Death penalty, now I'm fighting a life sentence. And then all of us had to go through those stages. And then essentially they get to the point of charging me, hitting me with the felony count of open murder. All of us got that, and we were scheduled for trial. We fought, had a severance, and Chris and Roosevelt went to court together, and me and Maurice went to court together a year after they did. So we watched their trial on the news. Me and Maurice never stepped foot in there. Neither one of us. And we watched that shit happening with them and was like, cuz, when we go to trial, nigga, a lot of this shit, we're not allowing our lawyers to do that to each other. Cause them niggas' lawyers was in there. It was a free for all. And so we just agreed that, nigga, when we go to trial, I'm not impeding nothing your defense is doing, and I don't want nothing my defense is doing to be impeded. The lawyers argued to have separate juries. We ended up with separate juries, and anytime something hostile toward him, my lawyer was doing that could have harmed him, then his jury was excused. They were not present. Anytime he had a defense contradictory to ours, my jury was excused, and that's how we ran it. And I got convicted, and Cuz got acquitted, essentially. And I got convicted for being a rapper. I got convicted over all of this shit. Really, it's a lot of details that are whatever. But ultimately, we talking about the focus just being on the rapper. The rapper's the ringleader. The rapper is this. The rapper is that. The rapper. I'm just on the news all the time, and they was whooping my ass. But the homie got acquitted. So I got convicted. They acquit Maurice. He come to visit me and bring the forewoman of his jury, knock the forewoman of the jury, because we do that. So this nigga come visit me with the forewoman of his jury, and I'm sitting here, and she's crying, talking about, I wish I could have helped you. I wish I could have done something for you. And that was the last time I ever saw Maurice. Cuz went on with his life. I got put on a bus, and actually I went back to the county jail. Funny story. So I'm in the day room. I'm cleaning the clippers, to use the clippers. I'm in 300 pod because I'm on my way to, like, I at this point, I've already been convicted, but I haven't been sentenced yet. So I'm spiritually on fire anyway. I'm doing burpees and dips and shit. And so SIBO is in the 200 pod because they house you based on the level of your offense. So 100 pod is niggas with tickets and child support shit. 200 pod is a little bit of violence, maybe without great bodily harm. Nobody needed stitches and sutures. And 300 pod is, nigga, you on your way to prison, or you just came from prison and you on a violation or something, or you got a murder case, robberies. It's all the bullshit is in 300. So I'm out there doing my thing, and I look up and I see Bo arguing with somebody. I had this barbasol in my hand, so I pull the door open and walk in there, and this dude step up, big ass white boy, step up on the chair, and he cocked his foot back to kick Bo. And I splashed him with the barbasol, and I pieced this bitch ass up. And me and Bo packed that nigga out. Bo dip out. I left up out of there and went about my business, and they came arrested me. So when I went to sentencing, I got 25 to life plus a 3-year gang enhancement plus 3 years for assaulting that dude. So that's how I ended up with 31 to life. That nigga Bo got me some more time fucking with that nigga Siba.